Talking about is answering some questions that you get that you frequently have about staying healthy as runners. So the first one was is how much should you be strength training per week, right? What's like a good optimal number? And right, there's no perfect number. I think a good range to shoot for is probably is around 2 to 3 times a week. I think that tends to work well. Where especially if you're in the middle of a season, your marathon's, I don't know, let's say it's 2 or 3 months away, you're still doing some level of strength training. Twice a week actually isn't bad. And this is where you can make it predominantly lower body. I do want people to do some upper body. So that optional third day, it's actually a great time to say, hey, we can do some upper body work. But I think probably if you're going to mix and match it, like each day, upper and lower, I'd have probably, 3/4 of it be lower body and the last quarter be upper. But I'm a much bigger fan of 2 days of lower body and having an extra day of upper. It's just, if you start doing more than two, especially 3 days of lower body, whether you're Monday, Wednesday, Friday, if you're really doing a lot of mileage, it's almost like you'll be so sore from lifting that it's going to make it harder to get back to, hey buddy, it's going to make it harder to run. So you're going to go on an easy run, let's say on like Monday, like I'm so sore from my workout, let's say Friday or Saturday, plus my long run on Sunday. So sometimes the soreness becomes an issue. But I'd say that's one big thing is, hey, how do we start to balance strength training? That's one big thing is not doing too much. Don't let the strength training tail wag the distance running dog. Because another question we get a lot is, what are we doing foot health wise, right? Like what are some things I need to be doing to improve my foot health? Like right now, let's say you run in I think this person, they said they ran an Asics. Right, what shoes should I be wearing? Like, what do I need to be doing? What are some things to keep my feet healthy? I think number one is, I'm just walking on just with some toe socks on a treadmill, but it's getting some time barefoot, or at the minimal at least with toe socks on. I like barefoot better. I just quick walked on here, but getting some barefoot time, it's huge. Right? It could be walking on a treadmill. It could just be you're walking around your house right after work, after your run. Even walking on grass is barefoot. It's huge to get some barefoot time in. And I think another part of that is get some barefoot time in. I'm a big fan of having people transition to walking in more minimal style shoes. And that can be challenging to do, but I'm a huge fan of, hey, can we change from I'm walking around in, these shoes with big old heel lifts on them and shoes that have all this cushion and support to, like, our foot doesn't need that. Like, I brought this here for a reason. Like, our foot, it should be able to hit the ground and mold to it, right, 1 second and pronate, and then less than half a second later, turn into a really stiff foot and have this really strong arch in here. So, our foot can do this work. We don't need a shoe to help us. By all means, if you're going to run an ultra marathon, it's hard to have a minimal shoe for that. Like you're doing 50 plus miles, we might need some cushion to help us out. But for the most part, I think everybody should have the minimum standard of I'm walking in a minimal style shoe, running different ball game. But I think the standard is I'm able to walk throughout the day 10,000 steps plus with a minimal style shoe on. I think that's huge. I think that's a big part of it. Also, don't be afraid to use toe spacers, man. Like people are, I think they think it's weird. Hey, buddy. I think they think it's weird, but sometimes I'll actually wear toe spacers. I have my toe socks, and I put toe spacers in them, and I wear them in my Zero shoes. You don't have to do that, but don't be afraid to wear toe spacers and wear toe socks, right? No one's going to know you have toe socks on unless you show them, right? So it feels weird, but I'll be honest with you, I do feel the difference where even if I wear like no-show socks, they're very, very thin, they're not very tight, I still feel like my foot gets like squished together. But what do I need to think about when I'm running? That's what it was. I think it kind of depends. Like I think about when I'm running, personally, I have issues where I rotate more. I'll exaggerate here. I rotate more to my right versus my left. So right foot, left foot, right foot, left foot. Your upper body rotates to that side. So I have to focus on. I use the belly button cue where when I'm hitting my left foot hits the ground, my belly button rotates that direction. So I love using that cue of when I'm walking and running, whatever foot hits the ground, my belly button is rotating that way. So that's a good cue I love to use. What's another good one? So I'll use the belly button cue. Recently, I've had a lot of runners where we're trying to get this leg behind. Hey, buddy. We're trying to get the leg behind this motion. And that one, you can cue it. You can cue the push off, which is fine. Hey, buddy. But I love actually cueing the arms. The farther my arms go behind me, the legs will follow what the shoulders do. So if I get my arms behind me more, right, instead of running here, I'm more here now, right? First, your cadence will probably go up, which is good. But it just many good things happen from that. But one of them is I get my leg more behind me. So I hope this helped. I know we talked about strength training, we talked about foot health, and a little bit of running form with the arms, but lots of small things that you can do to start to make a big difference in your health. And I want to go back to foot for a second, because even with like foot health, like I see patients where normally your foot, you want the toes to be pretty flat like this. And even when like 30, 35, 40-year-olds, we start to get a little bit of like I can't even do it with these because they're so stiff, but like a kind of like hammer toeing, right? Like they start to curl like this. And when we start to curl like this, right, it doesn't take, that's actually a representation of it. It doesn't, right? It might start out like this, right? And then over time, it just gets worse, and it gets worse, and it gets worse, and it gets worse. And that's when you have the 80-year-old that goes to the podiatrist all the time, because these are just, they're so, now they look like, they're like way up like that, and they're way down. It looks like horrible. So I think that's a big thing to keep in mind, is like really pay attention to your foot. And if you see the big toe kind of starting to cross over this way, hey, you can address a bunion. We start to have some of these hammer toes. Hey, these are things we can address. I think we need to bring a lot more attention to that. And if I see this in the clinic, we'll start to address it, right? We have tightness in the top of the foot. We have intrinsic foot muscles are turned off, stiffness in the inside of the calf here. So we'll work on those. So I hope this helped, and I'll talk to you guys next time.